Boys, every single week, usually on Mondays, we do a full recap of the weekend in statement form. We've got like 3 full days of weekend to recap in statements, plus we weren't all together on Friday. A lot of things have happened since last Thursday. So, Declan, why don't you start us off here? Mackey and Judd statements from the weekend.
All right, weekend statements. Yeah, a lot happened over the weekend. I'll start with the sports scene because this is a hashtag sports show and we hashtag stick to sports. So I'll start with sports for a weekend statement one. My first weekend statement is enough of the checkers, time for chess. And I am not talking about myself playing checkers and chess by myself. That maybe have happened. I'm talking about Bill Guerin and the Minnesota Wild. So over the weekend, they signed Joel Eriksson Ek to a max deal, quote-unquote max deal, 8 years. Give him an 8-year contract, $42 million. That's 5.2 per. It's a pretty large deal for a center, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. I'm mostly okay with it. Judd might disagree with the term of it, but a $5.2 million cost for a center on a team that has been looking for them, who's a two-way player, is pretty affordable. The cap's flat for the next 2 years. If you're getting the Joel Eriksson Ek that existed last season, who was basically playing at a 30-goal pace over 82 games, that's going to be a damn steal down the line. So I don't have an issue with that. And then yesterday, Nick Bukestad, the former Mr. Hockey winner, Minnesota native, he re-signs with the Wild. 1 year, like $900,000 chump change deal. A guy who's in and out of the lineup a little bit, but can play center and can play wing. Not really a difference maker by any means, but a solid bottom 6 guy to round out your forwards. Now I want to get into some chess here, okay? Now I want to know what the hell we're going to do with Kevin Fiala's next contract. Is Kirill Kaprizov contract's going to start picking up? The Jack Eichel steam is starting to bubble a little bit more. Is it still the asking price of multiple first-round picks and top prospects? What other trades also could you make to get a center who's not named Jack Eichel on this team? You know, I think obviously the biggest task for the Wild going forward is re-signing Kirill Kaprizov. That's task number one, is making sure that deal is the right one, hopefully in the 4 to 5 year range, but I can understand why Kirill wants a short-term deal. But figuring out what you want to do with Fiala, figuring out what you want to do with Kaprizov, the expansion draft also is in a couple weeks, and you're going to have to pick up the phone and figure out ways to finagle other things. Enough of the checkers, Bill Guerin. Let's play some chess.
They're coming. It's coming. It's coming big time. I think that they're very seriously setting themselves up for a Fiala trade. It makes perfect sense. He's your chip to get a center that you think is really good. Like he's your chip, and I don't think it gets you Eichel. And by the way, I think I'm out there. The neck problem, he still has not had surgery. They still haven't decided. There's the off-the-ice components we don't know about. The asking price is enormous. If you're wrong, that's how you get fired. I think that they're going to make a trade or attempt to make a trade for a center that slots above Ek on the depth chart. And I think Fiala might be the chip there. I don't know they are as in love with Fiala Dex as we are. And so I think your chess game might be coming, and I think it might be coming in the next couple weeks. And just to piggyback off what you said about the Ek contract, I love it. I think it's outstanding. It's a premium position, and you got him at a decent rate. And the problem is, again, Dex, you've made this point 1,000 times, and you're right every time. The problem is, what did Twitter light up with? The analytics, and the term regression, I get it completely, but it's now a crutch. Well, there could be regression. Well, yeah, you know what? I could die tomorrow. I don't know.
Right, so people say that Erickson Ek has regressed?
No, they're afraid he's going to. Like,
he had a career year last year.
Yes, and you know what? And he might regress as far as the statistics go, Phil, as far as the goals and points go, but he's a 200-foot player. He does everything, yeah. which is a skill set that's hard to find, which gives him an inherent value that's way above particular statistics that you can find. But the term regression is now used by sports fans who are like, yeah, he had a great year, but there could be regression coming. Well, yes, but let's look at that sometimes. And if you've watched the games, you get that certain people do things that go above and beyond, like the goals and points. So, Dex, I think you're right. I think the Erickson Ek contract in 3 years looks like a really good deal. Mm-hmm. And so I think the Wild did right by that. But I think that your game of chess, I think that is coming in the next couple weeks.
I'm excited for it.
Why does Erickson Ek not produce more points? I'm going to ask a hockey 101 question. Is his value in and around, I guess, why doesn't he score more goals? Why doesn't he dish out more assists? And where are the hidden points of his value?
the hidden points of his value are the complete game he plays. Now, he needs to improve in faceoffs for sure. That's one place where he should be good, and he's not good yet. But that being said, the value in his game, at least as he's been used, is what? It's as sort of a third line guy on shutdown lines. He gets his points. If you truly want to go geek about this, Phil, his points come from taking points away from other top players. That's the value. So like he and Foligno and Greenway played a very important role in shutting teams down, and that's their top assignment. And the points and goals that come at times, especially in key games against top teams, is probably considered gravy. So it's the fact that he plays such a complete game. He drives people crazy, which is outstanding. And he costs guys like McKinnon and McDavid probably to a certain degree. He costs them points. So he sort of gets points as well for the fact that they don't in games that he plays.
Ek is not a naturally talented player who's going to take over games with his skill. Like Kevin Fiala has that. Obviously, Kirill Kaprizov has that. He's not that kind of player where his skill, his natural skill, wows you. But what he did last year was he started shooting the puck a lot more. He puts himself in front of the net, almost a lot like a Zach Parise workman type. He's going to work super, super hard. And he was a Selke, he finished 4th in Selke voting, so he was just outside of being a finalist. He's Diet Mikko Koivu in the retrospect of he can play two-way games. Mikko, I would actually argue, was more naturally gifted than Joel Eriksson Ek. He was more naturally gifted. He had more actual skill. He could toe drag and move around. But in general, Ek is going to be a 2 center. People want him to play more top 6, top 3 minutes. Best case scenario, he's a second line center, where in retrospect, he's more in that third line role, which really can be a good spot for him.
He, by the way, was around 40th among centers last year in point shares, according to Hockey Reference, which kind of goes in line with what Declan's saying, that, yeah, he's not up there with the top line centers anywhere close to them, but you're going to need a second line center, too, for the next 4-5 years.
And it's not a contract that financially, you said, this is stupid. It's a very fair contract.
Yeah. Cool. Judley.
Let's see here. Do you want my non-sports one or a sports one? I've got a bunch of stuff. I mean, there's this is 4 days of me, Twins baseball, and a lot of beer.
Give us a non-sports one. Give us a non-sports one.
Okay, here's my non-sports one. I've never liked them before, but I have grown to despise fireworks. Oh. The 4th of July is the only holiday where you always wake up the next day to numerous reports of tragedy. People with their hands blown off. That poor Columbus Blue Jackets kid goaltender got hit by what, like a mortar?
Died.
He died. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm going to set off fireworks. Like, how is this worth it?
By the way, that dude played. I think he played juniors
sad.
in Edina at one point. Like he definitely he has some Minnesota connections.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. But anyway, it's super sad. But I mean, that's just one thing of a litany of things I saw yesterday about fires that started and garages that burned down and blah blah. I mean. Imagine waking up December 26th and being like, well, Santa killed 3 people yesterday, but it was a great Christmas besides that. I mean, it's the only holiday where we sort of accept casualties. Why?
I feel like I'd love to sit here and argue with you on this and fight you and present some sort of dissenting opinion, but I run almost everything in life through the filter of upside, downside. All right?
I do too.
So we're gonna, like this weekend, we did some hiking, got some great views, and the upside is great workout, great life experience, love to travel, right? All these great things that check boxes. The downside is, well, I guess you could run into a bear or like a cougar or something as you're hiking out in the wilderness.
Yes.
So you gotta weigh that for sure, but the chances of it happening are very low. Like people rarely get killed by bears and cougars, right? So, okay, but you do that evaluation. Okay, fireworks. Let's weigh the downside. Well, death, loss of limbs, fingers, premature explosion. I mean, it happens. You see videos just all over social media every single year, right? I would also argue downside for fireworks includes just noise, Even like people were
Oh my
lighting
gosh,
off
dude.
leftover fireworks yesterday on the 5th, right?
We had them going
Yes.
on down our block in the alley. But I mean, even that, I'm just talking about when else do you wake up from a holiday to a list of casualties?
Well, hold on. I'm not done yet. So downside, casualties, limbs, fingers, noise. It's expensive too, like all these things, right? Okay, upside for fireworks.
Okay. Ooh. I don't know.
What is the upside? You get to take some grainy phone footage of things blowing up in the sky. I mean, you can drink a beer without fireworks. You can gather with your friends without fireworks, right? You can play loud
Right.
music without fireworks.
Right.
And you can hang out by the water without fireworks. Hang out on your boat without fireworks. I just don't like. I don't know what's the upside of fireworks. I don't know. I don't think you guys are going
I know some
to convince me because it
I
sounds
don't
like
know.
we're all in
American
agreement.
culture.
Yeah, and I know some people
I
like
like to
them.
blow things up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean,
Nothing says celebrating your country like blowing things up.
I suppose if they're done professionally and, there's a great grand finale, that's cool. But you're right. And the thing is, the downside is so down. Like, if your, I don't know, parents or your brother or sister gets killed by fireworks, was that really worth it?
I mean,
that's the type of stuff
it
that can
depends on
happen.
what the finale was like. We'll
And
decide
that type of stuff
after
can
the fact.
happen. And it's these yahoos who go buy it themselves and then blow stuff up and start their house on fire or their garage on fire. So anyway, but I mean, we've got enough bad news. My God, we just had a pandemic, okay? I don't need to wake up to I'm serious. I mean, the Columbus Blue Jacket goalie dying is so sad and it's so depressing. And I mean, his poor family, this guy, he was 24. He had his whole life in front of him and he's dead because of a stupid, I mean, and here's the thing too. There are some things that the youth of America does, and we did too, that could cost you your life. That is a very bad decision. But like, I don't consider this kid to be at fault for going to a house that had fireworks, right? Like he didn't do something stupid. He thought he was going to something that was going to be fun. And he ended up dead.
So he took a mortar to the chest and then
Yes.
or the other report that he was trying to frantically get out of a hot tub or a pool
he
or
took
something.
a mortar to the chest, it turned out. The first report was he slipped and fell and hit his head on concrete, but the coroner came back and said no, they tipped the fireworks down somehow, and so instead of shooting up, they shot at people, and they all scurried to run, obviously, and he couldn't get out of the way.
God.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
On that note, here's my statement, all right? Shohei Ohtani would be a national treasure if anyone still cared about baseball.
I've got that in my notes, too.
Dude, this guy, all right, the calendar just turned to July. We're basically halfway through the season. This dude's on pace to hit over 60 home runs, which would have been, that would have been an even bigger story before Barry Bonds hit. What did he hit, like 73 or something? 85?
Yeah, well.
So
yes.
Shohei Ohtani leads the major leagues with 31 home runs. He also leads the league in triples and slugging percentage. And he's one of the best starting pitchers in all of baseball. And this amazing story from The Athletic came out a few days ago, just featuring and highlighting how interesting and sometimes strange of a cat this guy is. Shohei Ohtani structures his life in the most efficient and convenient ways possible. He lives in an apartment across the street from the Angels Stadium. He practices stoicism so he can always be even keel. And he eats alone because, quote, you can eat quickly when you are alone.
I love this guy. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He's stealing
a cyborg, man.
He's stealing some of my tricks.
He literally, so every
He doesn't want to
morning
be around people.
he makes an omelet every morning. He's very Steve Jobs like in that, like Steve Jobs woke up every morning, didn't want to think about anything other than building a great company. So he wore the same black T-shirts. He was like a cartoon character, right? Just gonna eat the same thing, wear the same thing every
Nothing
single
wrong with
day.
consistency, Phil.
Shohei Ohtani wants to eat alone so that he doesn't waste any time.
Yeah.
Dude's amazing, and he's about to hit 60 plus home runs and be one of the best starting pitchers in baseball. We literally haven't seen this in our lifetimes, and nobody's talking about it because nobody cares about baseball.
Can we talk about this for a second, too? Because I remember, I think it was 1989 when Bo Jackson, around that time, burst upon the scene, hit that home run in the All-Star game, which was played at the Angels ballpark at the time. And I mean, that was the biggest story. Like, that was all over SI. It was all over ESPN. Bo Jackson was the thing, and it was really cool. And to me, what Ohtani is doing is probably more impressive because he's a two-way player. Like, I know that Jackson played two sports and was an incredible athlete and deserves credit for that. But when you look at what Ohtani is doing, he is a two-way player, which is just unheard of in professional sports. It is really sad. It is really, and it's such an indictment of baseball. And there, you know what? There's no way that our guy Manfred can justify this one, right? Like with Trout, it was like, well, he's sort of, Mike Trout's sort of boring, so I guess we can't feature him. And you know what? Mike Trout's a great player, but he's a normal player. Like this guy, to your point, Phil, is a cyborg doing things that no one since Babe Ruth has done. And I'm sorry, in Babe Ruth's day, he stopped pitching too. This is probably the biggest indictment of baseball that I have ever seen.
Also worth noting here, too, Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani and Trout's been hurt for like the last month, but those are probably the two, Fernando Tatis, like those are two of the 5 best players in baseball. Maybe even the 2 best players in baseball when you account for the fact that Mike Trout's the best and Shohei Ohtani is the best power hitter who also pitches. And the Angels haven't made the playoffs. This will be the 7th year because they're not going to make the playoffs unless they're 9 back in the division. 7 years. And they've had Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout for half that time.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. It's rough. And they've got some money to spend there. It's Los Angeles. It's not
Definitely.
not broke. All right, Declan.
I'll go a weekend observation as well. So my statement is so close, but still so far. So I played around on Sunday. Played some 18, a couple buddies. It was 4th of July weekend. No one was on the course. By the way,
Nice.
18 holes, 3 guys, 3 hours and 25 minutes.
There you go.
Unbelievable pace. And that includes a stop at the turn to get food and beverages before going on the back 9. So that was unbelievable pace. On the front, I'm at exactly 50. Front 9, 50. I am knocking on the door of potentially breaking 100 if I can shoot one stroke lower than I did on the front 9. I was killing drives. I had 3 drives of 270, something that's never even happened to me before. Absolutely punishing balls. Chipping game was great. And then what happens on the back 9? The classic Declan meltdown. End up shooting 57. Still 7 strokes off from beating 100. It's
That's
the best
really
I have
bad.
played all season. It's still not great. I'm well aware of that. That's still about a 15-stroke increase from where I was at the beginning of the season. So progress is definitely being made. But my statement is so close, but still so far. Oh, and I almost aced on 7. I almost did have the most ridiculous ace of all time.
I think the statement should be, I'm still terrible at golf. I think
yeah.
that should be the statement.
Yeah, that is. Still, I said so close, but still so far. That's
I
insinuating,
have a question.
Professor Butthole, that yes, I'm still terrible at
Wow.
golf. Thank you.
I have a question to ask, and it's a
It's a
serious
107.
question. It's a serious question. Whose idea was it to stop and eat and drink? Because I feel like if you're on a roll, you should have told your friends, we ain't stopping.
I mean, it was you pick it up. Like you can, luckily these carts have,
So how long was the
Yeah,
break?
Judd, you're not sitting down for like
two
an
and a half
hour
minutes.
dinner.
Literally 2.5 minutes
Okay,
between
so
the time.
you didn't. Okay, I didn't know if you like ducked into the bar real
No,
quick. Okay,
no.
all right. Okay,
You can pre-order on the cart. You get
said
there,
that,
you pick
so
it up.
like, and I don't trust you not to have
not to
gone
have
ahead
not
like.
to have 25 minutes sit down and
Yeah.
have a beverage, right? No,
Exactly.
that's a
I just know
normal
you.
thing to assume.
I know you, and it's the July 4th
Correct.
weekend. No judgment passed.
Correct.
Believe me, I'm not passing judgment
I
after
love
my
how
weekend.
like Judd's been so long since Judd's been to a golf course that he thinks like you sit down, you get
Well-
a number, they bring you your appetizer. It's like
In
takes you an hour
Declan's
and a
case,
half.
I was just curious about the drink total, much more so than the food.
That's fair.
Again, no judgment.
All right, back to Judd.
Oh, all right. So I told you first off, I despise fireworks. I also despise the American League Central. Can I run through some factoids about the American League Central entering last night's action around Major League Baseball?
Oh, big win for the Twins last night. I feel like
talk about
if I'm Falvey and Levine, I just want to see a couple more series here to
Yep.
make sure that
Yeah,
I'm.
hater.
Oh yeah, way more serious. After the White Sox, here are the run differentials for the remaining teams in the American League Central entering Monday night, okay? Cleveland was a minus 16. Detroit was a minus 68. Kansas City was a minus 81, and the Twins were a minus 64. I hate this division. I can't believe I thought this was going to be the summer of fun. I thought this was going to be, third consecutive run for, and it was going to be competitive with the White Sox, but a run for an AL Central title by the Twins, right? Like, this was all set up to get us to training camp, and even through training camp, talking about the Twins and the excitement. The entire division sucks aside from the White Sox. And don't give me, Cleveland, blah, blah. No. They are, run differential is actually an important statistic. And I cited you the rest of the division after the White Sox are, in most cases, significantly in the minus side of things. I hate this division.
On the positive side, hey, Max Kepler has finally emerged after 2 years. Dude. He was feeling very good about himself after 2019 and just decided that was good enough. Middle of my prime, I can just disappear for like 2 years.
Whoa.
And he had a great game last night. Max Kepler's back, baby.
He's heating up last 10 games.
Stop.
Just in time.
Yeah.
If he's hot, they should consider trading him. Hey, Sano hit a couple balls hard last night. I don't know why you're so
2
negative.
doubles last night.
I think things are starting to turn around.
He had to DH because Nelson Cruz has a stiff neck from a severe coughing outbreak because he's been sick for like 2 weeks and they finally sent him to the team doctor.
Yeah, he's been just hacking up lungs for a couple weeks now.
What's going on here?
Wouldn't it be something if Nelson Cruz had COVID and they couldn't trade him? They couldn't trade him over the next 3 weeks because he was like in the COVID quarantine protocol.
You can't dismiss anything.
All right, my next statement is Maria Taylor is better than Rachel Nichols. I'm sure you guys have seen all the stories, the New York Times. It's a lot to unpack here, but if you haven't read up on it, the summary is about a year ago, Rachel Nichols forgot to turn off the camera and the microphone on the ESPN. Like when she was quarantined in Orlando, she forgot to turn off the electronic equipment that broadcasts her show and then anything else to the ESPN production hub. And she was on the phone with, turns out to be an advisor for like LeBron James agents in camp. And it's a guy who's connected to get, like, if you want LeBron James or somebody else to be interviewed on your TV show, you contact this guy. And she just cuts open a vein about how ESPN gave Maria Taylor the NBA Countdown and NBA Finals job for diversity reasons. And I think anyone who's watched, and I like Rachel Nichols on TV, but Maria Taylor is a fast-rising star. She's amazing at her job. And so this thing has played out just as embarrassingly as possible for ESPN. Rachel Nichols issued like a 15-second apology to start the jump yesterday. It was very uncomfortable. Yeah. But apparently Maria Taylor has not responded to any of her calls or texts at any point over the last year. And anytime you see Rachel Nichols on any sort of Maria Taylor-hosted NBA show, it's pre-recorded so they don't have to interact with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, amazingly uncomfortable and awkward. And I just have to say, like, if you're going to choose between Maria Taylor and Rachel Nichols, sorry, Rachel, I'm probably choosing Maria Taylor.
So the most interesting thing about this from the standpoint of the next couple of weeks is Maria Taylor's contract is up
during the finals.
And now it's very clear that ESPN leaked that she was after the Stephen A. Smith contract, about $8 million per year, to the New York Post last week to try and get ahead of this because it's pretty clear she's probably going to leave. Like, this is a complete cluster bleep. And yes, she's fantastic. She's absolutely fantastic. This also goes to show you trying to use communication systems that you don't know that well probably is not that smart if you're trying to talk to somebody in a personal conversation. If
Maria left ESPN, which I think there's a pretty good chance at this point that she leaves ESPN,
yeah,
where would she go? Like, what are the high profile places? There's the networks, there's Fox Sports 1, but in terms of like high profile TV jobs,
is Fox still paying aside from Skip? Or do they bring their contracts down?
I think Skip makes all of the money, and then
it's unbelievable.
There's Shannon, but like,
yeah,
could she host? Is there any sort of? Could she take over for Kurt Menefee or something? Like, what are the avenues for her to get a high?
She could get out of sports too. I mean, she's really good across the board. Part of the story from the Times that came out on the 4th was that she had been, her goal was to become Robin Roberts and to get, I think, a GMA position as well. But yeah, I mean, if I'm NBC or something, I definitely talk to her. Because she's great. But I mean, this whole thing is just, I don't know, man.
I'll tell you, if she's looking to ride out of ESPN, whatever she rides, Harley, could be a sport bike, cruiser, she'll find what she needs at DennisKirk.com. 160,000 parts and accessories in stock, clothing and helmets as well. If you order by 8 p.m., Dennis Kirk ships the same day and shipping is free for orders over $89. When the open road calls, whether you're leaving a company or whether you're just looking to ride during these summer months.
Just ride right out of the company?
You could. Vroom,
you just
vroom.
bolt away on your
Peace
Dennis
out.
Kirk. All right.
Yeah. Got my helmet, got my Dennis Kirk clothing at DennisKirk.com. All right. Any other final statements from you guys here? Whoops. That's totally the wrong button.
Well,
maybe it fits, though.
I was going to say, it might fit the ESPN woes.
It does. Any final statements from you guys?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. I'm good.
All right, cool. All right. Also, every Tuesday on this show, Declan goes back, finds random seasons from Minnesota sports past, and puts Judd and I through the ringer here. This is Random Season Recall. What do you got for us this week here, Declan?
All right. We're going to 2007 Minnesota Twins
Oh,
for a
my
random
goodness.
season recall. We're going back to baseball. We did a little North Stars edition last week. Judd disappointed me. I was expecting a lot more.
Yeah, that was a bad season.
We'll
prime.
go back to baseball. We'll let you two collaborate here and figure out the 2007 Minnesota Twins.
Okay.
Let's start with this. And by the way, my parameters, just so I'm all on the same page as both my esteemed co-hosts here. When I give the win total, do you want to be within like a 3 to 5 margin, or do you want to try to nail it? Just so I'm sure on the buzzer and the right things here, because I don't want to stiff anyone. I just want to make sure we're all in the communication. Speaking of communication carriers,
I think for wins and losses, I think if you're within 2, I think that's fair, right? Like for the baseball and the NHL and the NBA.
Yeah, I'd say 2 or 3.
You're within 2
or 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Within 2.
All right. So we're looking for a record here.
Yeah, you're looking for a record and a win total.
So, if I remember right, I'm just going to go through that era of Twins baseball. 2001 was the year they popped up and then faded down the stretch, and they won
in the second half
86 games or something. Yeah,
Yep.
And they missed the playoffs, and then they won the division in 02, 03, 04,
Yep.
and 06.
Yep.
They missed the playoffs in 05 and 07, and they went to a game 163 in 08 and then 09. And they only finished below 500, I believe, once during that era up until the debacle of 2011. And I'm pretty sure, as I talk through this, in 2005 or 2007, this is where I don't remember, one of those years they finished 82 and 80, and the other year they finished 79 and 83. I'm pretty sure. Or like 80 and 82. And I can't remember which year they finished below 500, which year they finished above. But my gut says they finished slightly below 500 in 2007. I don't know if you have any recollections, Judd.
I just remember how disappointing 2006 was. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think you're right, but I'm not positive.
All right. If I said just between me and
that.
Judd, 79 and 83.
Okay.
You guys, is that the final answer? Final guess?
I'm fine with that, Phil.
Let's go 79 and 83.
Okay. On the nose.
Whoa!
79 and 83.
Oh, there it is.
On the nose. 79 and 83.
There
Wow,
it is.
dude. Wow. I mean, come on. I feel like I'm on a roll with these wins and losses here, except for that
I think you're good at the
random
wins and
North Star
losses.
season that Judd dropped the ball on.
Oh, my God. Next one here. 3 pitchers. 3 pitchers made at least 30 starts that season for the Twins. Who were they?
Okay, so we're just talking among ourselves. Scott Baker has to be one.
Oof.
Right? Because that's around Scotty Baker's.
Well, Johan was one.
Yep.
He got traded before the next season.
Yep.
07.
I'm just gonna
Wow.
give you- Yo.
And how many do we need?
Need 3, so 2 more.
So 2 more, yeah.
All right, Joe, this is just between
Okay.
you and I here. Baker is a good guess. Johan, Carlos Silva.
Silva. That's the one I'm thinking of.
All right.
I'm thinking Scotty Baker and Carlos Silva.
So Silva for sure, one of them.
Yep.
Guess
Okay.
one more.
So let's talk this through here. So so we're looking for 30 starts. Scotty Baker would have been like just getting called up around that time. Matt Garza would have been getting called up around that time.
Okay.
But there was another guy, and I can't remember if it was that season.
And is this the year Liriano missed?
He was out all year with Tommy John
Okay.
surgery. Yep.
Okay.
But I believe they brought in around that time both Sidney Ponson and Ramon Ortiz, if you remember those two names.
Former Angel, yeah, I remember Ramon Ortiz.
So I'm trying to think. I think between, if I'm not mistaken, Sidney Ponson. Wow.
Just get a little bit on there. Sorry. I
No,
wanted.
thanks. Welcome to TNT's coverage, TBS. All right.
Ponson. I don't know if they would let him. I don't think they let him.
Did he start 30
games
games?
though? Ramon Ortiz might have. I just don't remember on Baker. 08 was the year Baker almost threw a perfect game. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't remember what his starting lobe was in 07 though.
Did Garza did Garza get to 30 starts in a season with the Twins?
I don't think so. Oh, here's another one. Kyle Loesch. Dude, it's Kyle Loesch.
Kyle Loesch, okay.
It's Kyle Loesch. Kyle Loesch. Oh,
Oh!
It is
do we
not
get?
Kyle
How
Lowry.
many wrong guesses do we get?
You get two more.
Yeah.
So 3 total.
All right. Well, Scott Baker. We'll give. Go ahead, Scott Baker.
All right.
No.
Wow, dude.
So it's one of the three then probably that you mentioned. Garza, Ponson, or Ramon Ortiz.
I'm gonna say Ramon Ortiz.
I'm going to let you guess.
Ramon Ortiz? Nope. Ramon Ortiz was eventually traded. He made 10 starts, 28 appearances. So he got moved to the bullpen after a
Wait.
couple rough starts.
Was
You're
this
forgetting-
a Levon Hernandez year?
No. It was not.
Wait.
You're forgetting. You want to know? You want to keep going?
Wait. No. Yeah,
wait.
wait. When did Radke retire?
After he had a frayed labrum in 06.
He literally had
06 was his last
half
year.
an arm in the game 3 of the ALDS against the Oakland A's.
He
Okay,
did not
so-
pitch. So have we not mentioned this guy?
Mm-mm.
He's
Haven't even
not been
said him.
mentioned.
And he's a prominent.
Hold on. Oh man. Oh man. This is killing me. Joe Nathan, closer. What other slappy pitchers would they have used? Kevin Slowey? Kevin Slowey.
That a guess?
Sure.
Let's go Kevin Slowey. Okay.
All right.
My only other guess, and the reason I didn't mention this guy is because his breakout years were 08, 09. Nick Blackburn?
Okay, let's just stop. Who
You
is
guys
it?
are forgetting about Boof Bonzer, who
Oh,
made 30
that's
starts in an ERA of near 6 that season. He was
That's
terrible.
That's
and he
why.
trotted
That's
out
why
there.
we're forgetting. We're trying to erase the memory of Gardy's
Boof.
mistake.
I think he's a car salesman now.
There
Boof
are still
Bonzer.
Boof Bonzer jerseys at Target Field that I see.
Look up Boof Bonzer LinkedIn, and I swear I saw this like 3 years ago. I think he's selling cars.
That's when you'd like to change your name back to your original God-given name instead of being Boof Bonzer, but that's okay.
Boof Bonzer linked to, oh my God. Okay,
Is he a car salesman?
He is. This is amazing. So his LinkedIn profile has graduated high school in 2000, baseball as an occupation from 2000 to 2014.
It's accurate.
Then he was a sales associate at Bob Valenti Auto Mall in Mystic, Connecticut from 14 to 17.
That sounds like a
And
movie.
since 2017, he's been a General Dynamics electric boat pipe fitter.
What a man. Some careers.
Uh,
How much money did he make, though? He must have made some money.
I mean,
Yeah, it's all in a bar somewhere.
Hold on a second.
It's
I
all
mean,
in,
he
it's
probably
all in the
made-
till
he-
at Bullwinkle.
How
He
much
made
money
close
do you
to-
think? How much money would you guess that he made according to Baseball Reference?
under $2 million.
I'm going to say he made.
No more than $2 million. He was on minimum salaries forever. I don't think he would have gotten.
Yeah, but he played for a long time. He got some minor league money. I'm going to say he made like 2.5.
It's 1.9. So Declan's correct, but this isn't complete. It doesn't include a bunch of international. Like
Sure.
he would have made some six-figure paychecks
Yeah.
playing internet. Maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, if
Good
you
Lord.
played that long, you're going to get paid by somebody occasionally.
Also, wasn't he a fairly high draft pick? Yeah, he was a first-round
Yeah,
pick.
he's
He probably had
first-round
a
pick.
multi-million-dollar signing
sure.
bonus
Yeah,
in
that's
2000.
right.
I'm telling you, the guy made, his cash is all in the till at Bullwinkle's. I told you that. That's where it all went to. Him and who was the guy, the relief pitcher who loved to drink? Was it Bob Wells?
The relief pitcher that loved to drink.
To drink.
Yeah, there's Bob.
Really?
I think it was
narrowed
all of
down
them?
there.
No, I think it was Bob, but Bob Wells, I think it was his name, and he would be like at bars constantly, like he'd just be around town drinking at bars.
I'll have the usual. All right, Bob.
Yeah, Bob probably liked beer. I have no problem with that. Again, not passing judgment, just making observations.
All right, what else we got? 2007
yeah.
Twins.
Just one player hit over 300 that season for the Minnesota Twins, minimum 85 games. Who was that player?
2000
question? Joe Mauer, I mean.
Yeah, that's what but hold on a sec.
It's Joe Mauer. Right?
Yeah. Yes, that was the first thought that came to my mind as well.
Okay.
Joe Mauer didn't hit 300. Was he hurt that season?
No, I don't think so. So he hit below 300? Joe Mauer hit below 300 that year.
Oh, come on, Mauer.
No wonder they finished below
Mauer.
293.
500.
You drink wine coolers.
Played 109 games.
Okay.
But he was not the leader in batting average.
Hold on.
So Nick Punto had every other year success. 06 was a big year, so 07 would have been a down year for him, so it wasn't him. I guess Morneau could be in the conversation here. I would say Luis Castillo could be in the conversation here.
Morneau seems more logical. I'm trying to think of the outfield and anybody who might have had success in that outfield.
Torrey Hunter, he was getting traded at some point. Torrey Hunter had a big year, I think, and then didn't he get hurt in 07? He broke his ankle or something.
In Boston?
07 was shaping up to be a big year for Torrey Hunter.
Torrey played 160 games. I think.
No, I think it was like 2005 that he broke his ankle.
Shattered his ankle.
Yeah.
What about Cuddy? Cuddy broke out a little bit around that time period.
So Cuddy was in.
Cuddy had a solid year that year.
It sounds like he didn't hit 300 from the way Declan reacted.
Or is he playing poker? Or did he hit 300 and Declan's trying to throw us off the trail?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, I'm going to say either Luis Castillo or Justin Morneau.
You need a definitive
Luis
answer
Castillo.
here.
You wouldn't have asked this if it wasn't a weird one. Luis Castillo.
Luis Castillo.
Bang.
304. Was traded at the deadline, by the way, that season.
Right.
But yes, he was the only player to hit over 300.
Is he traded to the Mets?
Yeah. He got traded, I think, back to the Mets. I think, didn't they acquire him from the Mets? And then I think he went back to the Mets.
Did he? I mean,
No, he might have come from the
Marlins. The Marlins.
yeah.
At least, yeah.
And then he went to the Mets.
Last one, a funny one here. Who was
Nothing funny about this.
an infamous waiver claim in August by Terry Ryan, one of his last moves before he stepped down, which he did midseason. Well, towards the end, but still midseason.
What year did he claim Brett Boone?
05.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was 05.
This is a classic Minnesota Twins post August 1 waiver claim.
Waiver claim. Big waiver claim.
And was a prominent name.
One of those years was Phil Nevin, but I think he was on the 06 team because I'm pretty sure he celebrated. Pretty sure he was a champagne celebration guy.
Yeah, he did because he didn't do a
06.
thing. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, you're right. He
But
did
it's
celebrate.
someone like that.
Like
it's
Phil Nevin. Hold on a second here.
Phil Nevin.
Former two-time All-Star. Former two-time All-Star.
Oh, man.
This is a good one. It's
What
funny.
was the year they signed Mike Lamb? Was that this? Did Mike Lamb play on the?
Well, because they signed him to play third base, right? And he was,
And then Joe Creedy, they signed him.
and like
at one
Batista,
point,
he
too.
was just washed.
Batista.
Oh, and Creedy's back was a mess, and they signed him to play on AstroTurf.
Okay, can we get a hint? Is it a pitcher or a position
Yeah,
player?
that's what I was going to say.
Position player.
Okay.
Position player. Two-time All-Star.
Oh my god, dude!
A corner player. Corner infield player. Could play either. This is great.
Wow. Oh, was it Ruben Sierra?
Ruben Sierra, is that a guess?
No, wait, it wasn't Ruben Sierra because he played. Yeah, you know what? It might have been because he'd been with the Yankees. Yeah, that's fine.
Ruben Sierra, that a guess? All right.
Phil,
Yeah.
that was fine.
Not Ruben Sierra.
Who is it?
Jeff Cirillo.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
Jeff Cirillo?
God.
Two-time
Yes.
All-Star Jeff Cirillo.
Jeff Cirillo, dude.
Great batting stance, right?
Hit 261 with the Twins in 50 games
Didn't he have
after
his
August 1st.
bat like wrapped around like?
More walks than strikeouts. He drew 15 walks to 13 strikeouts. Just a no BP guy.
I forgot that he was claimed.
Amazing.
It's been
All right,
tough lately.
not terrible. Not
It's
terrible.
been tough lately. It's been tough.
We nailed the Weiss Castillo and we nailed the win total. That's all that.
Yeah, we did okay, but I mean, it's been a little tough. It's been a little tough.
So, all right. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm Mackey and Judd. If you are on our YouTube channel or not, please click the subscribe button on the Score North YouTube channel, and we'll promise to give you daily Minnesota sports entertainment in exchange. And tomorrow, write that down, predict